Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Doctor Who. Last time on Doctor Who, we had Smith and Jones, where we were introduced to our latest companion, Martha Jones. And she was a doctor in training. I screwed that up. I kept calling her a doctor, and technically she's not a doctor yet. She hasn't passed her exams yet. But she was working at a hospital, studying up to get ready for her exams. When suddenly the hospital was put on the moon by this alien race called the Jadoon, and which are basically these space rhino dudes. They were space police that were looking for a non-human, which got a little messy when the doctor came in. But the person they were looking for specifically was a plasmavore, who was going to destroy pretty much half the Earth and everyone on the moon in order to take the Jadoon ship and just escape. And she was also sucking people's blood so that she could assimilate it and appear human. And then hijinks ensued with the Doctor and Martha and stuff like that. And at the end, the Doctor took Martha for one trip, which I'm sure will only be one trip. So, yeah, that is basically that. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. Let's please focus on the episode at hand and previous episodes of both Torchwood and Doctor Who. I got those backwards, didn't I? Oh well. Of Doctor Who and Torchwood that I have reacted to. In terms of classic Doctor Who spoilers, I'd rather you just be very, very vague about it. But yeah, just very, very vague. So, that's pretty much that. And, yeah, that's basically that. Let's get right into this episode of Doctor Who. Here we go. Ooh, $15.99. Favorite episode already. Oh, this dude's good. Playing the song himself, he's not even getting a boombox. Did you... Oh dear.
Mother Doomfinger.
Oh no. Oh, this poor dude. Just wanted to get some.
And this fleeting earth will perish.
Why? Oh boy. Oh, I love them cold opens. It's nice to hear the song again.
When are we?
Oh dear.
Somewhere before they mentioned the toilet. Sorry about that.
I'm not going to get carted off as a slave, am I?
Why would they do that?
Not exactly white, in case you haven't noticed.
I'm not even human. Just walk about like you own the place. It works for me.
And the Earth will be consumed by flame.
That's global warming.
Oh, yes,
Oh my gosh. Love this episode already. We get William Shakespeare in this episode. That's interesting. First Dickens, now Shakespeare.
Ah! Shut your big fat mouth!
Oh,
You should never meet your heroes.
You've got excellent taste.
Not as elegant as he thought he was.
Oh, that's a wig.
It's too bad. Not as elegant as Dickens.
I know what you...
I was just going to give you a quick little trip in the TARDIS. But I suppose we could stay a bit longer.
You gotta keep your companion, man. I know you miss Rose, but you gotta go with another person.
Verily, forsooth, egads.
No.
Don't.
Don't do that.
Just
I'm
talk.
Sir Doctor of TARDIS, and this is my
Sir Doctor
companion,
of
Miss
TARDIS.
Martha Jones.
Why'd you don't have that handsome head of yours?
Cold, hard, wanton woman.
I shall return later.
Man, everyone's friggin' horny in the 1500s. Oh, just gonna drown the dude? Oh, God.
Leave it to me. I'm a doctor.
So am I. Near enough.
She's a bit more of a doctor than you are.
Now to halt the...
Eternal sleep is thine.
Ooh.
Hey, come on. Can you hear
You could
me?
just start with that, man.
You're gonna be all right.
Why you gotta drown him? Pick one way of killing him.
And why are you telling them that?
This lot's little one from the Dark Ages. If I tell them the truth, they'll panic and think it was witchcraft.
Okay, what was it then?
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft?
Yeah.
The potion.
Alien witchcraft.
No.
I mean, witches, black magic and all that, it's real?
Of course it isn't.
Well, how am I supposed to know? I've only just started believing in time travel. Give me a break.
Looks like
That's a-
witchcraft, but it isn't.
Yeah. It's
Can't
just,
be. You're gonna stand there all
just
night.
science you can't explain.
Rose would know. A friend
Doc.
of mine, Rose, right now, should say exactly the right thing.
Oh, Doc.
Still, got me out.
Don't talk about your ex-companion.
Take it back home tomorrow.
What?
To writer's hand.
Oh, she has control over him. Very impressive to do the whole thing like that.
I'll take that to aid my flight. And you shall speak no more this night.
No way.
What was that?
Did she actually take a broom? Oh my gosh.
Hold on, the architect. The architect! The globe! Come on!
The architect? What about the
What was
architect?
that? All right.
Copy it, hand it round, learn it, speak it, back before curtain up. And remember, kid, project, eyes and teeth. You never know. Queen might turn up. As if. She never does.
That was a very director moment.
So, tell me.
Always be sure to project.
Women can be doctors.
Heck, even I sort of project in these reactions.
Ruled by a woman.
Betwixt Dravidian shore.
It's a spell.
3.
She wrote a spell into his play?
Spirit.
All Hallows Street.
Too many words.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Just
14! That's it, 14! The 14 stars of the Rexall planetary configuration! Creature, I name you! Carrier Knight!
Carrier Knight. Oh.
The right combination of words spoken in the right place with the shape of the globe is an energy converter! The play's the thing! And yes, you can have that.
So, this is why Love's Labor's 1 doesn't exist anymore? Oh, Love's Labor's lost, Love's Labor's
All
1,
Hallows
not
Street, there it is.
1.
Martha, we'll track them down.
Whoopsies.
Will you get to the globe?
patience.
Muling poor, drooped men and stench.
Shut up, down in front.
I'm sorry.
There is naught can stop us now.
There's no one,
All
not.
Hallows Street.
Friggin' British.
Which house?
Ancient British.
Thing is,
Words.
though, am I missing something here?
Martin McFly goes back and changes history.
And he starts fading away. Oh my god, am I gonna fade?
You and the entire future of the human race.
Yeah.
It ends
So-
right now in 1599 if we don't stop it. But which house?
Back to the Future is always a great way of explaining time travel.
Carrier Knights! What did I do wrong? Was it the finger?
Power of a name works only once.
Ah, dicks.
That's for you, Sir Doctor. Fascinating. There is no name. How
Yeah.
can a man hide his title in such despair?
I guess the Doctor doesn't really have a name.
Look. The north wind blows and carries down the distant rose.
Aww.
Oh, big mistake. Because that name keeps me fighting. The Carrier Knights vanished. Where did you go?
Man, she is short compared to
It's the
him.
right word to banish us into. Oh, we'll see.
What was that for? What did you do?
Souvenir.
Took his
Give
hair.
it back.
Oh gosh, there she goes.
Well, that's just cheating.
Old Doctor.
These freaking witches are crazy.
Hold on, mister. 2 hearts?
Not making a habit of it.
Yeah. Still gonna
I've only got
hurt.
one heart working. How
Oh.
do you people cope? Ah! On the side. Ah! On the back. On the back.
Gotta start the other heart. That's hilarious.
Ah!
We're going the wrong way!
No, we're not.
Where are they
We're
going?
going the wrong way.
Oh, they're going the wrong way.
It begins.
Oh crap. This isn't a two-parter, is it?
They come. They come.
Oh dear. It's like the Daleks, but they're witches. crazy, man. What do you even do anymore?
Trust yourself. When you're locked away in your room, the words just come, don't they? Like magic. Words of the right sound, right shape, the right rhythm, words that last forever. That's what
So-
you do, Will. You choose perfect words.
Use the right words to reverse the process. That's clever.
To thee! Yeah!
Good old JK!
Gotta put some Harry Potter on that. Oh! So much paper.
Love's labour's won. There it goes.
This is what happens to it. Good work. How's that for a sequel, folks? So what do you do with that?
I've got a nice attic in the TARDIS where this lot can scream for all eternity. And I've
Just gonna keep that.
Martha, let me say goodbye to you with a new verse. A sonnet for my dark lady.
Oh my.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely, more temperate.
Will, you never believe it? She's here! She's turned up!
We're
The
the
Queen.
talk of the town.
Queen Elizabeth I.
Doctor,
What?
my sworn enemy.
What?
What?
With his head.
What?
Well, never mind what. Run!
She recognizes the doctor?
What have you done to upset her?
That's right, haven't you met yet? That's time travel for you. Still can't wait to find out.
Oh my gosh, really? Freaking doctor, you pissed off another queen? Oh my gosh. That's a plot twist right there. He actually... Because I was thinking to myself, like... I was kind of thinking, like, oh, well, the queen's here. And I was like, oh, well, the queen of England, I don't know. And I was like, oh, wait. This is 1599. This is 1599. So, you shouldn't... There's no bad blood with the queen, because that's later on when he gets into bad blood with Victoria. But no, he has bad blood with Queen Elizabeth I? Future episode. And it has to be a Tenet episode, because she recognizes him. She takes one look at him and is like, you're the doctor, my sworn enemy. It's like, oh, so this, yeah, so that's a future Tenet episode. I love that. So we get to go back to the past again. Yay. I love that. Brilliant episode. Loved it. Gonna call it right now favorite episode of the series. You guys know me. I love when they go back in time. Unquiet Dead, Empty Child, The Girl in the Fireplace. Friggin' love when they go back in time. There's probably another I don't remember. But I love when they go back in time, so... Just the fact that they did go back in time and we had an adventure back in the past. I love it. Wrote down the paper. The psychic paper didn't work on William Shakespeare. Why was that specifically? Did they specifically give a reason? Like, was that because of the witches? The carrier knights? Oh gosh, I'm kicking things. Was that because of the carrier knights, or was that... I don't remember. I feel like they gave a specific reason, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah. I wrote down spirit. That was honestly... I wrote that down before I realized what the plan was. Basically, they were going to release all the other carrier knights, all the witches. It's interesting. It leads into my next point, the carrier knights. Very interesting, these things that, it's like, okay, they're clearly aliens, obviously. It's Doctor Who, they're aliens. And they are a big enough threat that the Doctor does eventually recognize them, but they are still very much the very classical witches, you know? They are, they've got the long hair. They're all old and wrinkly, and they're cackling and flying around on broomsticks and stuff. So they're classic witches, but they're also they're also aliens. They're also these ancient aliens. Oh God, I hate to even reference Ancient Aliens. The show Ancient Aliens, which is a god-awful show. I was actually thinking about doing a video on Ancient Aliens as like a 7HF episode. That's beside the point. Yeah. So they're like these, like the Doctor said, like they'd sort of disappeared before the dawn of the universe, which is interesting. Now wait a minute. Or maybe he said after the dawn of the universe, which is interesting, because if he said before the dawn of the universe, that contradicts a little, because I think in the Satan pit, Satan was like, I am from before the universe, and the Doctor was like, well, that doesn't make sense. There was nothing before the universe. So, yeah. So, excuse me. Oh, good grief. Sorry. So yeah, did he say they were before the dawn of the universe, or after? I don't remember. But they were a long time ago. But I like that we're getting sort of like this universal, this lore of the Doctor Who universe. In The Runaway Bride, we had the Arachnos, and we learned stuff about that, and sort of, honestly, the lore of how the Earth was formed and stuff. Now we're getting some stuff about these witches that disappeared around the dawn of the universe. Last episode we got the Jadoon, a space police, which is pretty cool. So I like that we're really expanding the lore of the universe. We're doing a lot of world building this series, which I really like. So there's that. Shakespeare, I wrote down Shakespeare because friggin' brilliant. I like the way they used him. I think it's clever that they basically, everything around Shakespeare was pretty much used for their spell. The reason that they were able to go to Earth was because of Shakespeare's grief for the loss of his son. And then the fact that they used the architect to create the Globe Theater because they needed it specifically for their spell. And the fact that they wrote in their spell at the end of what was it called? Love's Labour's 1. That's it. Because which is the lost sequel to Love's Labour's Lost. Love Labor Lost. Right. I haven't read much Shakespeare. I've read other stuff, but I haven't read much Shakespeare. So maybe I'll check that out. If I had time. That's the other problem. Like if it's not assigned to me in a college class, I'm not reading it. At least not right now. But so maybe in a few years. I don't know. In 3 years, someone remind me. I'll read that. Heck, we'll do a review. It'll be funny. So yeah. Words. So okay. Using Shakespeare, I really like that, and putting that in at the end of his play was brilliant. And so that unleashing everything because of his play, and then the Doctor's solution, which was that, well, Shakespeare's words allowed this spell to happen and release all these carrier knights. So Shakespeare's words should put them back, just suck them all out of there. which it did, which was pretty cool, and I really like that. That's a great use of Shakespeare. Like, okay, here's something. I love The Unquiet Dead. Honestly, it's one of my favorite episodes. I know a couple people have said it's a very underrated episode. I love The Unquiet Dead. It's one of my faves. But I will say that for as awesome as that episode is, using Charles Dickens to help with this conflict with the Gelf, now that I've watched this, I kind of feel like they didn't use Charles Dickens to their advantage. Like, he was there and he was helpful, but when it boiled down to it, he was there and then he turned on the gas. He let out all the gas in the house so that they could just blow up the Gelf and close the rift. So there's that. Whereas here, I feel like they did utilize Shakespeare a lot more because they used his words and stuff like that. So, yeah. It's also interesting. It's also interesting that it's like this seems to just be like a thing now. It's like every doctor is going to meet a famous writer from history, a famous author, and sort of geek out with them because they love him so much. Like for the Ninth Doctor, for Eccleston, it was Charles Dickens. And here, with David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, it's William Shakespeare. So, who knows? Maybe with the 11th Doctor, we'll get... who could we get? Okay. Well, okay. It would be interesting, like, you could go for a lot of, classic authors. Homer comes to mind. That'd be kind of cool. Plato might be kind of interesting. Authors. Do I got any over here in my wall of history textbooks? No. None of these are really ancient. Oh, Herodotus. That could be kind of cool. For those of you that don't know, I guess I could explain all of them. Homer wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey. Plato, you got stuff like Plato's Republic and Timaeus and Critias, stuff like that. And Herodotus, known as the father of history, wrote down an account of. Ooh, is that? I guess it says on the war for Greek freedom. Okay. It's not, but that's not the Peloponnesian War. That should be the war with Persia, I think. Is that right? Is that? Ooh, I gotta look this up. Okay, Herodotus. Getting a little history lesson in here. Alright, he wrote the histories, I know that. The Greco-Persian Wars, yeah, so stuff like, so basically like Greece versus Persia, and with the Persian king, Xerxes, and you might know it like the Battle of Marathon, the Battle of Thermopylae, which is what 300 is based on, stuff like that. Yeah, with the 300 Spartans. So there's that. That's what Herodotus did. God, I'm losing it. And the final author I'd like to see in Doctor Who would be Alexander Dumas, because he wrote my favorite book of all time, The Count of Monte Cristo. Which, if you haven't read Count of Monte Cristo, go read Count of Monte Cristo. It's amazing. So, that's kind of it. Again, really liked it. Really love this episode. And yeah, probably going to go down as my favorite of this series. Maybe. See, the thing is, I don't think... The Unquiet Dead was not my favorite episode of Series 1. Maybe Empty Child, Dr. Dances are number one. But then in series 2, the girl in the fireplace was definitely my number 1. So I don't know. Maybe this will go up on. Maybe this will go up as number 1. Maybe not. Who knows? I guess we'll find out as I keep going through Doctor Who. So that is basically it for this video. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Doctor Who reactions, you can click on the playlist right down here. I've also got some other videos you can check out. I've got the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. And you can follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you later.